Hello, crypto people. My name is Joey. I'm part of the Truck Guys team. Been a full-time trader and analyst for 7 years, over 20,000 hours. Here to talk about some crypto. So last stream we were talking about what would keep daily consolidation healthy, and during the stream was pretty much the invalidation point of health. And not long after the stream, we ended up getting quite the flush. So that increases the odds that a weekly lower high is shaping up from here. But there's still more work that bears need to do if that is going to be the case. Going to talk about what that is, going to talk about what bulls would need to do to try to keep the show on the road, but not going to forget that a weekly lower high will not be surprising, whether it be from here or 67K. Time will tell. Let's get into the chart, see what we're working with, and break some stuff down. So here we are looking at, we'll start with the Bitcoin weekly. So we've got our weekly bounce. We know that a lower high compared to 70.1K is the most likely scenario, and bears trying to make their stand for it here now. So zooming into the daily, this daily 12 EMA right around 61.8K was where we were when we were streaming on Tuesday, saying if bulls hold that low, they can have hope that we can continue up in an uptrend. If they lose that, which right when we lost that, it ended up being quite the flush. That then creates room for bears to form a lower high compared to 65K. So what do bears need to do if they want to get a weekly lower high set? They need to confirm a daily downtrend from here. So on this bounce, we're looking for a daily lower high compared to 65K. So if bears are going to confirm a daily downtrend, they want to keep this retracement below 50%. We are not too far away from that 50% level now. That is 61.3K. Current high of the bounce is 61,166. So if bulls see much more of a leg up, that's going to decrease the odds that bears can do that, and rather increase the odds that bulls at the very least can form a tightening range from here. And then if this tightening range were to form and then break bear, that would be our weekly lower high. If it were to form and then break bull, we'd say, all right, great, bulls keeping the show on the road. But as the theme has been for the last couple weeks, do not get bamboozled if we set a weekly lower high compared to 70.1K, because that is the most likely scenario. And if it's not to be the most likely scenario, we need to have increasing bull volume on the way up. So zooming into the 4-hour here, really what we can say is if bulls are able to confirm a 4-hour uptrend next time we consolidate from here, then odds of bears confirming a daily downtrend decrease. If bulls do not confirm a 4-hour uptrend and we see deep enough 4-hour consolidation beyond the 50% retrace of this move, that's when bears have room for a 4-hour lower high, attempt a 4-hour downtrend to get a daily lower high set. So that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin in the intermediate term. Bigger picture, we know monthly 12 EMA, as long as it's support, bulls are fine from a macro level. If that were to be lost, really the recent lows of 49K, if those are lost from here, then we know that we've got a bigger shift going on, which with the Fed rate cuts coming on September 18th, currently 100% odds based on the CME Fed watch tool. If those come, it historically leads to a bear market in the broad market. So if the S&P 500 pulls back 30%, what's Bitcoin going to do? Time will tell. So one thing that is notable to me on this bounce is Bitcoin's bouncing. We've got Ethereum bouncing, but many alts are not bouncing. And that's not what bulls want to see in the space for continued bullishness throughout here. So if we look at Sol, it's one of our alts that hasn't even seen a bounce yet. So we've got to ask ourselves, okay, if Bitcoin sets a daily lower high, how are these alts that haven't even started bouncing yet, how are they positioned? And they're not positioned well. So Sol does have room for a daily lower high compared to this little triple top here at 162.30 next time we do bounce, but bulls are struggling to get a bounce underway. Got 4-hour 12 EMA acting as resistance, already consolidating on the 4-hour, whereas Bitcoin is still up at these highs. So we've got some weakness in the alt space here. Let's just flick through a few of them and see who we got bouncing, who we have not bouncing. So AVAX was one of our stronger movers off the low, getting that 3-day trend change. Still no bounce. ADA getting a dinky bounce underway. Phil, no bounce. Ape, no bounce. Matic, no bounce, and testing the recent lows. So we've got a lot of weakness still in the alt space. Sand, no bounce. WLD, no bounce. SEI, Dinker, Atom, no bounce. So what crypto bulls want to see is these alts play laggard on the bounce, have Bitcoin remain strong, get over the 50% retrace, have the alts start to join. What bears want to see is Bitcoin top out, confirm a daily downtrend, and just keep the pressure on these alts. So let's take a step back. We'll go look at Ethereum, see how it's doing on its bounce. So Ethereum, we know we got our weekly lower high set at 28.20 at this point. So now the question is, are we going to get a weekly higher low compared to 21.16? We bounce right about to the 0.5 retrace of this move down, so it's kind of anybody's game in terms of whether a higher low is most likely or not. So what will really shift those odds is what happens on this daily bounce. If bulls bounce up and over 50% of the previous move down, they're creating room for a daily higher low to attempt a daily trend change and get a weekly higher low set. If bears confirm the daily downtrend, then we're looking right back at the support down here at 21.16, and odds would decrease that bulls are able to hold it. So whoever claims the next daily trend is going to be pretty crucial here. So we do have a little 4-hour uptrend as our guide for this daily bounce. And in the short term, we've got hourly 12 EMA, hourly uptrend, and that's the same as Bitcoin. We didn't talk about the hourly there. If bears want to get 4-hour consolidation underway on Bitcoin, they need to take out the hourly 12 EMA. But back to ETH, just going to let our 4-hour uptrend be our guide. When we lose hourly 12 EMA, that'll be some 4-hour consolidation shaping up, and anything over 24.56 would be a higher low. So let's check our retracement size at this point on the bounce. We're nearly to the 50% retrace, so similar to Bitcoin. If bulls get another leg up, that's going to decrease the odds that bears can confirm a daily downtrend. And checking in on ETH BTC, still all about daily 12 EMA resistance. So we had nice relative strength yesterday, seeing a stronger bounce than Bitcoin. But if we reject from daily 12 EMA again, we'll anticipate that relative weakness is just going to come right back into ETH USD. So looking at LTC, one of our better bouncers here at this point, right about the 50% retrace, just like everybody else. It looks like it has tagged it. It is surpassed it marginally. So that decreases the odds that bears are going to be able to continue the daily downtrend. But we saw back here, this was a bounce retracing almost the full move back, and bears still went to lower lows. What is the clue that the most likely scenario of a higher low based on retracement size is not going to happen? Increasing bear volume. You got your increasing bear volume. That's what's necessary to just blow down through support when you have room for a higher low. So that being said, we're still looking for a daily lower high compared to 68.02. If bulls see another leg up, they'll be hopeful that they can regain a daily uptrend from here and get a weekly higher low set, and then attempt a weekly uptrend to try to really regain some momentum. So looking at LTC BTC, 3 days of relative strength here. Nice bounce, but we know bigger picture, weekly 12 EMA is the nemesis of LTC BTC, and nothing is really going to change unless we get up and over that. There's nice little bouts of clear relative strength or clear relative weakness, but the overall trend is very clearly down here. Very clearly down. So let's see, what are we watching on LTC BTC? 4-hour uptrend, 4-hour 12 EMA support. Easy as you like it. Let's check in on BNB. That was one of our better bouncers. So BNB, better bouncers off the August low. So retraced almost the full move. We'll be watching for an inverse head and shoulder on the weekly on BNB USD. So that weekly lower high is set at 600.6. And now the question will be, what's the size of our next daily bounce look like? Is it weak and bears confirm a downtrend, have us see deeper weekly consolidation? Or is it strong and bulls have an opportunity to try to regain a weekly uptrend and regain a daily uptrend and set a quick weekly higher low? Who else we got in here? Anybody looking interesting? Let's check back in on KUJI, just because we were talking about this potential daily falling wedge last stream. We know it's a Black Dirt Breakdown name, and any bounces from here, we're just looking for lower highs, and I think it's 3-day 12 EMA acting as resistance here, so can't get too hasty if we are to get a bounce from here, but we have a very clear pattern. We did get the lower lows that we were talking about on Tuesday, and we have not seen any follow through. So the potential remains for an aggro bull to try to go for a daily stair step break, get a position off the ground just for a bounce to 3-day 12 EMA, where you can anticipate bears will be waiting there for the bulls. What are meme coins? What do we got? Pepe, weak daily bounce. Our weekly lower high is not set. It's going to be the same structure as many names at this point. Can bears confirm daily downtrends? That's the very next thing we're watching, is how big are our daily bounces, and then that information is going to tell us the next truly important thing. Can bears confirm daily downtrends? Lots of weekly lower highs set in the crypto space, but a lot of them are just straight off the top. So whoever claims the next daily trend, it's going to be crucial for the space as a whole. SHIB, same deal. Looking for a weekly lower high not set yet. Can bears confirm a downtrend from here? Doge, same deal, except our weekly lower high is set. Weekly lower high is set here at 1154.6. Can bears confirm a daily downtrend? See deeper weekly consolidation, have us looking at the August flush lows, or do bulls bounce over 50% to try to set up a daily uptrend? Very much so the same thing on many, many names at this point. Last but not least, what I'm looking to go through, checking out Bitcoin dominance. So we got our sideways range bull break, then some pullback as Bitcoin dumped, or where was our pullback? It was on Tuesday. So Bitcoin dominance pulled back as Bitcoin pulled back, and that was Bitcoin seeing a deeper pullback than alts. And now we have BTCD bouncing, showing that Bitcoin is bouncing stronger than alts. The direction the space is going is not always the direction that Bitcoin dominance is going. So you've always got to make sure that you're aware of which of the four relationships are we getting with the Bitcoin dominance movement. When Bitcoin dominance is going up, that can be because Bitcoin is going up more than alts, or because Bitcoin is going down less than alts. When BTCD is going down, that can mean Bitcoin is going down more than alts, or Bitcoin is going up less than alts. Those are your four scenarios that you'll always have there. So I don't really split hairs on Bitcoin dominance too much on the smaller time frames. Key thing that I care about, still just going to continue repeating myself, is the 2-week 12 EMA here. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at. Let's see what we got going on in chat. Master in Trading, hello, hello. Ed laughs. LTC bounce first. Yeah, you know, it's never great when LTC's one of the better looking names. That's typically not a good omen for the space, but more often than not, what that'll be is everything's been bullish, and then LTC gets a big old pump, and that's more so of like a dash to trash type thing. So this is not like a big red flag to me or anything like that. You know, LTC since the August flush lows has been one of our better performers off of those lows, and that just is what it is. And at this point, trying to get a quick weekly higher low set. Let's see. Ed laughs, wants the dump. Yeah, man. Everybody's got their different wants and desires out here, but the biggest thing is we got to just make sure we're taking what the market's giving us. I got wants and desires as well, but got to take what the market's giving us, not what we want from the market. Let's check out Link. Link was one of our better bouncers off of the 3-day uptrend, and it had one of our stronger 4-hour bounces. Yeah, this was one of our stronger 4-hour bounces just yesterday, but not really following through on it at this point. So we'll start zoomed out and then get back in. So looking like a weekly lower high shaping up. We know that anything below 1520 would be one. We're rejecting from weekly 12 EMA, and it's going to be the same deal as everybody else. Can bears confirm a daily downtrend from here? We got room for a daily lower high compared to 1270, and this is one of our alts that's struggling to bounce at this point. Still very weak. Got a clear base of support down here, just below $10 psychological, and we've got 4-hour 12 EMA acting as resistance for bears and bulls alike. So 1147 is our first 4-hour lower high resistance. Really got to get through 1171 if we're talking about a daily bounce getting underway with any degree of confidence. And you could just say this is a little 4-hour EQ, low, high, higher, low, lower, high. and we're coming down to support here at 1103. So if that were to be lost, we'd be looking at the Tuesday flush lows of 1090. And if that were to be lost, then we'd say, all right, well, bears now are creating even more room for a daily lower high next bounce and increasing the odds of the daily downtrend and of that weekly lower high being set. Let's look at Link BTC, see if we got any clues there. Just going sideways, pretty much doing the same thing as Bitcoin over the last week or so, with varying little degrees of relative strength and weakness, but nothing from a macro sense is changing that much. And another instrument or chart that we're looking for a weekly lower high. If this weekly lower high shapes up on LTC BTC, LTC USD is going to have more downside on that pullback. Let's see, Ed laughs. I see lower highs, LOL, on BTCD. Let's go back and look. We're in a daily uptrend, so you could say it's like a 2-day lower high set compared to this at 57.71. We had 57.71, clear double top. So tough to even call that a lower high. Could be a little cup and handle here on the 2-day. And bigger picture, still just kind of cruising through an area with a lack of resistance. We do have some pivots here. Some tops back here, support there. Is it going to act as resistance again and have us dump back down? That's what bulls would love to see if that's an alt season. I know everybody's working the cycles and saying, we got this alt season coming. Maybe the U.S. slides into a recession. I mean, we already have, but they changed the rules for it. But if the S&P 500 pulls back 30%, I will be very, very surprised if people are buying dog whiff hat USD. All right, let's check out AAVE for Amico Beach. AAVE USDT. So bigger picture, we're just sideways on the monthly here. Weekly is up near our kind of balance range. So while it is strong, let's get a box and kind of just slot this on here. We'll take our lowest close and our highest close, and we'll kind of just view this as our balance area. And the thing is when you're up near the highs, you kind of want to be bullish because it's been very strong. But that's typically where bears are looking for proper risk to reward to try to short. So it certainly is still holding on decent compared to peers. When you look at that's our August low was not below the July lows, April lows, any of that, which is not the case for most names. If we look at Bitcoin, that April, March low, that's all back here. Our August low punched down below that. AAVE is holding it within this balance area. But as we're up here, got to be cautious of the potential that bears defend it. So it's going to be the same deal as everyone else. Can bears confirm a daily downtrend or not? They do have room for a daily lower high compared to 148.77, and that is that. Yeah, Solana's not doing great. Solana's not doing great. Sol BTC trying to get its weekly lower high shaping up within this sideways balance range. But we knew a weekly lower high is most likely scenario on Solana compared to 193.98, and it's sure looking like it's fixing to shape up. If it's going to happen before Sunday when the weekly candle rolls over, bears got to take out 138.70, the low of last week, and test and flush lows. Test and flush lows at this point of 140.53. Next key support after that is 136.10, and we'll see, like everybody else, can bears confirm a daily downtrend next bounce? No problem, schoolboy. No problem, Ed. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward here for most coins. A lot of coins doing the same things, and when we have coins doing similar stuff, you can use retracement size and whether a coin has a bounce underway or not to determine who are relative bulls, who are relative bears. So when we look at a name like ADA, who just has a little dinky daily bounce underway, we can say that has relative strength compared to a name like Sol that's testing the lows, or a name like AVAX that doesn't have a bounce underway yet. So let's look at Matic actually. Matic giving back the whole move. So Big old move up, weekly 12 EMA resistance still acting as such, and when you don't create support on the way up, it's easy to plunge right back down, and we have just got 4-hour downtrend, not even quite testing 4-hour 12 EMA. So Matic Bears maintain full control as long as 44.63 is acting as resistance, pushing to new lows as we speak, and just watching the daily stair step. We'll get a bounce at some point, but lots of room for a daily lower high. And let's look at Matic BTC, see if that was just a clean weekly 12 EMA rejection. What do you know? Weekly 12 EMA acting as resistance for a while. We had 2 or 3 day 12 EMA, and that was kind of the signal. Yeah, 2-day 12 EMA. When we got up and over that, that was the signal for the initial boost up. This is not wildly different from the YFI BTC big burst from a while back now at this point, but very similar here. 2-day, get rid of that. 2-day 12 EMA acting as resistance. You get up and over, big move, but then it just all bogged back down. Matic BTC didn't get quite that size of the initial move, but you get your signal that it's go time, but then you've always got to zoom out and say what's the most likely scenario on the next time frame. You can't anticipate that it's just going to bog straight back off the top from here, but we can know that, all right, we're looking for a weekly lower high. We've had weekly 12 EMA acting as resistance. And this is the tough thing about going counter trend, is when you're in an uptrend and you lose that uptrend or a specific level or an EMA, you've got another time frame waiting there as a safety net to try to have a healthy higher low on that time frame. It's just the opposite when you're in downtrends. Great, that's a nice weekly move, but we're still looking for a lower high. It's just, instead of having saviors lined up behind you and safety nets, you have, or in front of you, you have the next boss. And the next boss was the weekly 12 EMA, and it's doing its thing. So that just is what it is. No problem, AJ. My pleasure as always. Yeah, we got a quiet stream here, but if y'all can hit the like button, that definitely helps out our algorithms, helps the info get to more people. All right. That's all we're looking at here today. We do have no trading in the U.S. on Monday for Labor Day. Fact check that. I'm pretty certain that's what it is though. So we'll see. Do people actually just take a day off, or does crypto get some spice? Sometimes when there's holidays, people will, like degenerate traders from the broad market, will come over and trade crypto just so they can do something. I will not be doing that. I'm gonna be taking the day off. Probably see y'all Tuesday for another stream, and keep an eye out on the size of this Bitcoin bounce. Looking like we got 4-hour consolidation. So let's see, did bears take out hourly 12 EMA? The answer is yes. So that is 4-hour consolidation getting underway. And now the question is, can bulls confirm a 4-hour uptrend to try to get over the 50% retrace of this pullback to decrease the odds that bears can confirm a daily downtrend and get a weekly lower high set? That's our next question, and the next little piece of info in terms of that is, what is the retrace on this 4-hour? If we lose the 50% retrace of this bounce up, that decreases the odds that bulls can get the 4-hour uptrend and see daily bounce continuation. So if bears see another leg down here, then aggressive bears are going to be looking for a 4-hour lower high, 4-hour downtrend to set a quick daily lower high, and hopefully confirm a daily downtrend to get a weekly lower high set. It's all fractals and builds out on each other, or builds out on itself from time frame to time frame. All right, thank y'all for spending some of your afternoon with me. I will see you Tuesday. Well, I'll be around on Twitter, as will Dan, kind of keep some updates flowing in terms of what we got going on. And obviously, if you're in the Chart Guys community, you know that we're on top of all of this stuff all of the time as it plays on out, rain or shine, holiday or not. And on that note, we are running a free trial. I'll keep kind of casually talking about it. It's a 2-week read-only free trial. Let me get the link here and pull it up. So if you've been interested in the community before, you can try it out for free. It's read-only, so you can't type. It says only 50 spots available. That's a lie. So check it out. And, like y'all can tell, I'm not a salesman. I don't ever desire to be one. And that's the nice thing about the free trials is, like, I don't need to tell you how great the community is. Come check it out for free. If you find value, then maybe you'll stick around. If you don't find value, then toodaloo. All right. Have a good rest of your day. I will see you next time.